Alright guys, today we're doing a little recap of the last day of Johnny Depp defamation trial, and we just discussed a little bit what we've learned so far. So I've been posting some videos, of course, as you have seen, but I found the last day of the trial quite interesting, especially because of the deposition of I think it still works for Johnny Depp, the security guy, British man, I think his name was Connolly, with a very nice accent. To me it seemed like, I don't know if it was a Scottish accent or maybe it's a dialect that it's somewhere around, London or something. I don't know, I'm not 100% sure. Not being an Irish speaker, I don't know the differences between different English accent, but it was kind of cool accent. Anyway, it was very interesting to hear the man, because of course he worked with Johnny Depp for something like 20 years, and in particularly was interesting to hear his side of the story in regards of the behavior of Amber Heard towards Johnny Depp. Very interesting that he said, like many others I suppose, if I remember correctly, that in the beginning she was quite cordial and nice, but then the behavior started to change over time, and reported by Connolly is that he noticed every now and then like marks on Johnny's face, not every day but more often, like a bruised cheeks or like a little swollen lip. So he started to see those marks more often, like some scratches. I mean, honestly, some of this stuff, if you have a little bit of kind of fun in the bad room, it might happen. But if you start to see only on him certain scratches and stuff, that of course you start to kind of ponder. But anyway, we're doing speculations here. We're just talking, we're just sharing some thoughts. We are not qualified to judge anybody, to do some kind of condemnation or whatever. We're just sharing some thoughts. And it was also interesting to see that in the incident in Australia, where of course Connolly was working with Johnny, he also reported of the behavior of the couple, more importantly the night of the finger incident, where he went to the place where they were staying, the room, the bungalow, the house or whatever, and he heard the ruckus through the door. And when he got in, there was screaming involved, and he saw Johnny with the finger, and he tried to remove Johnny from the place, and there was more screaming going on. And as he took Johnny away from the circumstance, he first let him go because Johnny wanted to have a couple of minutes to sort of maybe clarify whatever. I don't know truly in what states the two of them they were, but Connolly stated that she was quite fierce, so that somehow suggests that probably she was kind of combative, or like in a state where things could escalate potentially. And probably they did, because Johnny Depp lost a tip of his finger. But anyway, he took Johnny away after that, and he reported that there was a lot of cussing from her towards Johnny as he went away, in the order of many fucks, and yeah, you big man, go do always what you do and leave, blah 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 blah. I mean, if those things are true, of course, we're just discussing it. It's another indication that there are issues in place. Very, very troubled personality from her side. Of course, like I always said, if you want to give it the benefit of the doubt, because you, of course, like the lawyers of the defense were trying to do, always to discredit all those people that work for Johnny, because of course you might think, okay, those people are biased, they have interest in whatever they have to say. But don't forget that everybody also reacts differently at testifying under oath. I mean, if you cannot, let's put it this way, it's it's quite nerve-wracking, because if they find out that you're lying, because you don't have the story straight, there are consequences to that. So I think that a lot of people, I mean, apart from mafia bosses or something, the majority of normal people, I think they feel the pressure, and they will opt always to say what they saw instead of inventing stuff. You know what I mean? Because you can have repercussions. Now, legally, I don't know exactly what can happen to a person that is found to lie on the road, but I'm pretty sure there must be some punishment. So I think that a normal person, a working person, like for instance the other driver that Johnny also, it's been working for Johnny for a long time. I forgot his name. And it was the driver that he also drove her to Coachella, the driver that works downtown LA, and found the phone of Johnny that she threw out of the balcony, and found it to be in possession of several miles away, in the possession of a homeless. Then he retrieved the phone and he gave presents in terms of money and food to the homeless man, and retrieved the phone. And also him, even though he works for Johnny, but if you're found to testify to be lying, there are repercussions. And I'm sure people, they're like, yeah, I found another job as a driver or something, instead of lying. So there is also that to consider. I think people, what I'm trying to say is that I don't think everybody, even if you work for them, man, they're so willing to put themselves to a degree of risk by falsifying what they've seen. That's what I think, of course. I think normal people, which they're not delinquent, they will have more difficult time inventing stuff, especially if doing so might affect them. So going back to Connolly, very interesting to see his side also, to a story referring to a trip both her and Johnny were having. I think was train, Orient Express, I'm not exactly sure, but a train that went through the east, of course, all the way probably to Singapore or something like that, Thailand, or some like direction like that. By the way, those people, they do nice stuff. And they show a picture where Johnny is together with the crew of the train in their cabin, and he's shown to have significant mark on his nose and under his eyes. Really a mark of a punch on a face. Honestly, if I see that, if you ever been punched or hit by something, you really see that looks like either you really smashed your face into something or somebody hurt you. And like the security guard, the bodyguard of Johnny said, either he walked into a door or a door walked into him. So it was a kind of funny joke. But at the same time, it shows something happened there. Something happened there. And you always have to think, like, of course, you can fall, something. But again, you look at those things one after another, you start to kind of ask yourself questions, whether or not there is a repetitive dynamic here. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, so many are getting engaged in this, and myself included. In a way, I wish that this trial probably was behind closed doors, honestly, because like this, at least both of them, they can deal with it. But now that it's public and you see how detailed things are getting, from both sides, whether speculation or not, but that at least gives you a sort of window into their lives. And from a point of view, human point of view, it's interesting to peek into that, because at the end of the day, you also realize what we sometimes look up to and the majority of people dreamed as a perfect life, you know, being successful, being famous, being involved in movies, doing fun stuff, and being paid extremely well, being able to do all the things that money can allow you to do, like traveling in a train to the east in a sleeping cabin with the restaurant or whatever and whatnot. Seems like all fantastic and romantic. Yeah, probably it is. I actually done a trip in the train, sleeper train from Amsterdam to Paris. Was actually no, I did from Paris to Italy. Sorry, Paris to Italy. Huh? How about that? Was actually a nice trip, and I even have a video on YouTube, by the way. Yes, I do have a video here. So yeah, I mean, we think that it's all perfect, and then in the end, you also realize that you're just another person. You know, you're another person. You need to go to the toilet to drink. You got your things going, and if you haven't worked on yourself, in certain issues will remain. You know, and all of that. So, but again, I don't know if this thing will go on for another 3 weeks. Is it necessary, or are we coming to a close? Because I'm thinking like, what do they have to do? Do they do like, because I see a lot of redundancy. So I'm thinking like, okay, now they interviewed all these people. Maybe she takes the stand, and then what do I have to do? Like redo the whole thing? Like, how many people can go there and talk? So anyway, guys, this was fascinating for me. Especially the Australian incident, the recollection from Connolly, both in Australia and on the train, especially with the new picture that emerged of Johnny being wow, I looked like really like he was punched hard, like all up here on the nose and under the eyes swollen. I was like, whoa, that looks serious, you know? That looks a serious hit. Was not just some redness from, you know, a slap or something. That looked like really somebody just hammered you on the nose and it just got swollen. So go figure. Anyway, guys, there are super thanks on the videos, those type of videos especially, which are not monetized by record labels. So if you want to support the channel, that's a great way to do it. Otherwise, just watch another video. It's all free. Thank you very much.